And you mentioned it, burnout. Burnout is like so crucial. Kids now that are getting fried mentally before they've even got onto the court, the field, whatever it is they're going to and trying to get themselves into. I get messages constantly about kids who are looking for solutions of how to deal with their mental health. Have you seen how did you deal with your own, and how do you kind of like nurture your kids in looking after their own mental health at the moment?
It's funny because I actually met with one of the girls I used to coach. She's doing sports psychology for her research project at school, and one of them was, have you seen a sports psychologist? And I wished, when I first joined the Australian team, a sports psychologist spoke to us, but I can't remember anything that they said. And then when we didn't qualify for Barcelona, I wished I'd gone to see a sports psychologist because I was a mess and I didn't really take enough notice of that. But I did see sport psychologists over time for different reasons, and they were amazing help for me. And it's all about the well-being of the athlete. I think that's the definition of sports psychology and the mental health, but in particular. So, and then another interesting question was, well, should we be introducing 10 to 12-year-olds who are showing that promise at the elite level to sports psychologists? And I was really torn.
It's an interesting one, isn't
it? Because it's like, do you mess with something that's not broken?
Yeah.
Or do you put those measures in place early so they've got techniques to cope if something does go awry? So it's sort of like, that's a hard one to answer. How soon should we be bringing in counselling or help to elite athletes?
I think personally, I think there's got to be an element where there's a definite moment for children where I would say pre-teens that they're just soaking up information.
Yeah.
They kind of don't know the right from wrong of what they're doing, and they're a hell of a sure more aware than we used to be. I used to be, and I'm sure you did, because the access they have to social media and the information that they can get hold of. I've been coaching a 13-year-old recently who I'm pretty sure he should be up as a stand-up comedian. Like he whatever he is ingesting on TV, he is just mimicking it, and it's incredible. But at the same time, I don't feel they have that moment where they just really know. I know personally in my career, it was probably around 14, 15 where I started to register certain sort of like doubts and self-confidence issues and then whether it was the ups and downs. But before that, you're just taking in information, you're just moving,
and do you
you're doing
need
it.
to bring that external person in to complicate things? It was, I was really torn how to answer that one. I was
split between just doing it and then analysing it too much. And that's where sport sometimes can get lost, where you overanalyze stuff, you overcomplicate it, you make it real tough. And
that was the interesting one with parenting. So after a game, if Taya had not a great game, I knew that she didn't want to talk about it. So I would, whereas I know a lot of parents and their children have a heated debate in the car on the way home because parents want to talk about, you didn't do this well or this well, and that doesn't sit well with me, because I know as an athlete myself, I wouldn't wanted mum and dad to do that to me. So I was like, I'll let her bring it up if she wants to. If not, we'll let it slide.
I was the same. I had a big, I guess, blow up with my parents when I was growing up, because they weren't sporting. So from the outside looking in, they were just so interested in what was going on. But at the time, you just don't want to talk about it. You just, let me get over this emotional like moment that's happened, and I will then decompress and I'll come see you later. But at the time, they just want to smother you with love and or like really fire up the conversation. And then I just exploded and then had to go into almost an agreement with my parents, like, right, we don't talk about sport when I come back from this game. And I even had a kid that I was coaching, and it was brilliant. Him and his dad they'd agreed that as soon as we get in the car to go to the game and go to training, we talk about anything other than the sport, and their relationship's fantastic. But he has the capacity to go to his dad when he feels like it and he wants to talk about it. Otherwise, his dad knows not to intervene with his sport. And that's a really good point. I think that's something that, especially if someone is a parent, as much as you want to smother them, it's so interesting to hear it from your side, both having been the athlete and now a mother. I'm yet to be a father, but I I just know from my side I've never wanted it. Never wanted it.
Because there were some things I would have loved to have said to her, but I knew not to.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the right time, and she wasn't going to take it in anyway. Because she's just wanting to. That's after if it hasn't been a great game or whatever. Different when it's an awesome game, because then they want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
when it's up, it's up.
Yeah. It's like, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Do you think that's helped your relationship with?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.